Hello everyone. So today I just got these 2 boxes in the mail. You can see on here it's going to be my Nameless Catback exhaust. So here's some of the bushings I bought. Yep, I bought 5 to place everything on it. This looks like the actual back here, a little gasket kit. Yeah, with the Nameless on here. Looks pretty sweet. Let's set this down. Pretty nice welds on here. Nameless stickers, sweet. Here's my gaskets. Nice. Piece of the mid. Oh yeah. Before I proceed, I wanted to make sure that I have safety, so I have the wheel chocks in here. Got my jack stands to catch if anything should happen. I have it up on the ramps. Now these ramps have been pretty good, but they kind of suck because you can't actually drive up onto them. I just have to use my jack stand, and then I can just lower it onto there, but you can see how high it actually raises up the car here and how much you actually have to work with underneath, which is pretty cool. Now you're underneath the car, you're going to want to remove these 14mm nuts here and the bolts, and there's bolts on the other side, so you'll have to use 2 wrenches on this. Then from there you'll remove the muffler by this bushing here, and then let me get some light for you. The one back there. So I'm gonna get to it and hopefully get this muffler off. Now I have the nuts here unbolted. I'm gonna start with these bushings. I'm gonna spray them down with WD-40 and then work at it to pull them off. Now I actually have both of these mufflers off now. You're gonna need an extension on your 14mm wrench to get the not this outside here, but the inside. It'll make it a whole lot easier since my wrench didn't fit the gap. Spray some WD-40, and I use this box just to drop the exhaust onto. It's pretty simple actually. Some other videos seem like it's a whole lot harder than it is. I'd say this side took me about 15 minutes. Whenever you're removing the top rubber hanger, actually remove the whole thing off, and then on this inside piece here, remove the actual muffler so it's still attached, if that makes sense. It took about 15 minutes. This one literally about 45 seconds. Pretty simple. I wanted to show you what the difference is over here in the mufflers itself, or you can call it exhaust, and the actual hangers. This one here is the hangers that came stock, and this here is the one that Nameless provided. And I'll show you the difference. With these stock ones, you can see I can bend it around, where this one here still has a little bit of give to it. I'm squeezing just as hard and not much difference. So this is definitely a better piece here. Moving on to the exhaust, you can see it's kind of heavy. Has the tips here. Big old muffler. Here's the Nameless. I did have the 4-inch double walled muffler D-lead on it. So next step will be removing the mid pipe, and then from there we'll go on to the installation of my new exhaust here. These bolts here from the mid pipe. This outside piece right here is going to need a 14. This inside piece here, I say piece, I mean is going to be a 12. Sorry, I'm a little tired and laying on my back right now. So for those of you who are curious, this is what the stock mid pipe looks like. Whenever I removed it, I just set the box it came with under the side, and once I finally just pulled this piece out, which I don't know why people are saying they're having trouble with it. Maybe it's because I've had my car about half a year now, so there's not much buildup, but it literally took me about 30 seconds to pull this piece off. So, as you can see here, I've installed this piece that meets the J-pipe. 2 12mm, which is different than stock here. Put that donut gasket in. I tightened it down basically evenly. Way to tell is just count the threads that you see, and it's pretty tight, so I can always come back and tighten it down more if I feel a leak. But as for now, I feel like it's in the correct positioning. Pretty tight in here. Moving along here to the back, put the C clamp in. It was actually a little difficult, but wasn't too bad. Making sure it's not anywhere facing my drive shaft, and basically just tighten it down. That's it. Now I have the Y pipe installed here. Tip here on these clamps is to make sure that the two pieces that you're joining together are flush against each other, because it took a little bit of well, it actually took 2 tries, because first time I was tightening it down I thought it'd pull them together, but it'll actually just create tension between the two pieces. So if you have it off, it'll stay off. So make sure that the pieces are aligned correctly. I left a little bit of wiggle room so I can go up and down with my Y pipe here. So here's one side put on. It hasn't been tightened down yet. Just simply hand tightened. You can see it looks pretty good. Pretty straight on. For some reason here in the camera it looks like it's kind of lower on this side, but I can assure you that it's dead even. So this is it done here. Everything's good. The only thing that's kind of odd is that the tips came out good, except one. You can see here this gap is about 2 fingers, and on this side this gap is 1 finger. So it's kind of odd. I've messed around with it about 2 hours, just readjusting everything, and even the Y pipe here. So as for now, I'm gonna leave it how it is and run it. Hopefully it kind of loosens itself up a little bit, and then from there I'll be able to adjust it a whole lot better. So overall, looks pretty good, and I'll show you my first startup. Startup's pretty good on it. Go for a ride here in a second. Once I lower it, I'll give it some revs as well. Okay, I'm going to show you another startup and then do some revs, one at 3, 4, and 5. I really don't like revving the engine without actually going, so I'm just trying to be safe. went ahead, did one at 3, then one at 55. Do a little drive here. Alright, so I'm gonna pull out here. It's kind of rush hour time. I have the window down. Sounds pretty good. Not ridiculously loud. I can hear that it's a whole lot deeper of a pitch now. Get out here where I can get into at least 5th. Sounds a whole lot cleaner. Cleaner, I mean by deeper and more precise. Precise, I mean, sounds more in tune with what the car should. Here pretty soon I'll show you just getting out. Hear it pop a little bit. Alright, here we go. Right now, I can hear it since the window's open, but in the car, it's not making a big kind of thud. Had the, I guess you call it the drone noise. I'm pleased with it. Alright. Didn't want to bore you with sitting at that light there. Let's do a little. Driving this car so much, putting this on, for some reason, it's not just me driving it right now, it has a little bit more torque to it, which they say without a tune or doing anything, which I don't have the call access port, I'm not the stage 1 mapping, just regular stock mapping, definitely picks up a little bit more than it did before. And it's really kind of odd. Not really 100% sure, but let's try it one more time. Yeah, maybe just a little bit, but it's still noticeable, which I think is pretty crazy. my daily driver, so it's not, yeah, a loud hum that you hear with it. You can tell that it's different exhaust for sure. It's not something that's just overbearing, just kind of pounding through. So overall, this install took me probably about 4 hours to do, and I would say an hour and a half, maybe even close to even 2 hours of it was just doing the axle back part of it. And overall, like I said, one of the mufflers is a little bit indented a little, so I'll work with that here later on. But for now, I noticed whenever the car was up, you could see the difference, but whenever the car's down on the ground, unless you look for it, you can't tell. And even though I like everything to be perfect, if you don't notice something, it's not a bother to me. Do one last pull here.